What happens to your body before death? The early stage of dying, which can begin weeks or even months, is characterized by the body's move to conserve energy. The primary signs of this stage are a decline in appetite and an increase in sleep. The person eats and drinks less, often with reduced enthusiasm. They sleep for long periods and may resist movement. The body is beginning to conserve energy as all physical systems slow down. The digestive system itself begins to shut down, making chewing, swallowing, and elimination painful processes. A primary driver for these changes is the heart's reduced ability to pump oxygen-rich blood. Without sufficient oxygen, the body's cells don't have the energy needed to keep you awake and active. Sleep is no longer for recharging, but a consequence of this profound energy deficit. As death becomes imminent, the signs of systemic shutdown become more pronounced. The process often involves progressive weakness, reduced mobility, and increased periods of sleep, culminating in multi-organ failure. It may involve primary cardiac arrest, where the heart's electrical activity becomes disorganized and fails. This immediately stops circulation, causing the brain and lungs to fail within seconds. In this pattern, the heart is the first organ to fail. Or the person might experience systemic vascular collapse, which is a more common, late-stage process of dying from illness. The brain, lungs, or vascular system may fail first, leading to a total collapse of the vascular system. The heart still has electrical activity and may even try to pump, but the blood vessels have no pressure. The system fails, which then starves the heart of oxygen and substrates, causing it to stop beating. Here, the heart's cessation is the final step in the cascade. In the final days or hours, a wet, gurgling, or rattling sound may occur as the person breathes. This is commonly called the death rattle. It is reported in 12 to 72% of end-of-life patients and is known to be highly distressing to families. The sound is not caused by pain or drowning. It is a direct result of the person becoming too weak to cough or swallow. The coughing and swallowing reflexes diminish. Saliva and normal respiratory mucus pool in the back of the throat and upper airways. Air moving over this static fluid during breathing creates the gurgling sound. Other factors such as infections or gastroesophageal reflux can also contribute. Breathing patterns change dramatically in the final phase. Observers may see heavy breathing and slow breathing, sometimes with gaps between breaths. It is not true breathing but an abnormal reflex. On the other hand, Cheney-Stokes respiration is a specific cyclical pattern. Progressively deeper and sometimes faster breathing followed by a gradual decrease that results in a temporary stop in breathing, called an apnea. In the final hours, the skin becomes cool to the touch. It may become pale, bluish, or, quote, mottled. Mottled skin, known medically as livido reticularis, is a blotchy purple-red or lace-like pattern that often starts on the extremities like the feet and hands. The heart is no longer able to pump blood effectively. This causes a severe drop in blood pressure and a slowing down of circulation. This disrupts blood flow to the tiny vessels under the skin. The mottling pattern is the visible evidence of the body's final, desperate attempt at triage. As the cardiovascular system collapses, the body's last autonomic priority is to keep blood flowing to the core vital organs, the brain, heart, and lungs. To do this, it must sacrifice the periphery. The body severely restricts blood flow to the skin, hands, and feet to shunt the last remaining poorly oxygenated blood to the core. This shutting down of circulation to the skin's microvasculature is what creates the blotchy, lace-like pattern. In the final days, many patients experience neuropsychiatric syndromes. This can range from restlessness and agitation, to confusion, to seemingly visionary experiences like talking to people who are not in the room or who are no longer living, or talking about going on a trip. Research identifies these as end-of-life dreams and visions. The brain, like any other organ, is failing. The visions and misunderstandings reported by caregivers are often the behavioral symptoms of the brain's own organ failure. As the kidneys and liver fail, waste products build up in the blood. As the lungs fail, oxygen levels drop. These toxins and the lack of oxygen disrupt normal neurotransmitter function, manifesting as delirium, confusion, and hallucinations. A common belief among hospice staff is that hearing is the last to go. Families are often encouraged to keep talking to their unresponsive loved ones. A 2020 study from the University of British Columbia provided the first empirical data on this subject. Researchers used high-density EEG to monitor brain activity in unresponsive, actively dying hospice patients. They found that the dying patients' brains did respond to auditory stimuli. The study reported electrophysiological evidence of preserved hearing. However, the researchers are emphatic about a crucial caveat: this does not confirm awareness. As one researcher noted, their brains responded, but we can't possibly know if they're remembering, identifying voices, or understanding language. There is a vast difference between the brain processing a sound and the consciousness of that sound. This scientific ambiguity leads palliative experts to adopt a precautionary principle. Because awareness cannot be ruled out, one must keep talking to people when they are dying. The recommendation to act as if they can hear you is a compassionate approach grounded in this scientific uncertainty. The final rally is one of the most profound and baffling end-of-life phenomena. Terminal lucidity is an unexpected return of consciousness, mental clarity, or memory shortly before death. It is also referred to as a pre-mortem surge, or rally. This phenomenon can occur in individuals with severe, irreversible neurological disorders like dementia, stroke, or even schizophrenia. A person who is withdrawn and non-communicative may suddenly speak coherently, recognize people they had long forgotten, recount memories, ask for favorite foods, or sing. Terminal lucidity occurs very close to death, often in the last few days or hours. The mechanism is poorly understood and is a subject of active research. It presents a direct challenge to the irreversibility paradigm of degenerative dementias. The standard model of dementia is that the disease destroys the brain, and thus the memories. Terminal lucidity contradicts this, as a person with a physically degenerated brain suddenly regains access to complex memories and language. This implies that the memories and personality were not destroyed, but were inaccessible. Researchers are studying this phenomenon to learn more about whether dementia is truly an irreversible disease. The moment death occurs is marked by clear, observable clinical signs. A person is pronounced dead when there is no breathing, no heartbeat or pulse, and pupils are fixed and do not respond to light. Immediately after death, the body's muscles relax completely. This releases strain on the bowel and bladder, often causing urination or defecation. Then in the first 15 to 120 minutes of death, the skin becomes pale and ashen. This is caused by the collapse of capillary circulation as the heart is no longer pumping blood to the skin's surface. The body cools at a rate of approximately 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit, 0.83 degrees Celsius per hour until it matches the ambient temperature. Then the stiffening of the body begins around 4 hours, peaks at 12 to 24 hours, and fades after 1 to 3 days as decomposition begins. It starts in the small muscles of the face and neck and progresses outward. Death is a complex biological process, not just a single moment. Subscribe for more.